Hey guys, I'm Logan, the 64th Gear Jammer Skeele, founder of Advantage Diecast. And obviously, I'm not in the Southside warehouse today. I got to the airport just a little bit early for my flight, and I've got the entire TWA First Class Lounge all to myself, at least for a little while. This works out great because I wanted to talk about a jet fuel tanker. And look, there it comes to fuel up that Boeing 707 sitting right outside. Talk about great timing. The truck I want to talk about is pulling under the wing of that plane right out there. While I'm at the airport, as I speak, I'll bet you have been to an airport or you've watched a movie and seen tanker trucks sitting under the wings of the big planes. And they have hoses going from those tanker trucks up into the bottom of the wings. Of course, you know what they're doing. They're fueling the planes. It's interesting to watch, but I must move on because the other passengers will be arriving shortly. I have for you a model of a 1959 tanker that I want to show you today. But first, you might be wondering what they are putting in those wing tanks back there. It may not be exactly the fuel that you're thinking of at the moment. If you're about to embark on a jet airliner and you thought the plane would be fueled with 100% jet fuel, you might be surprised to find your trip might be fueled by a combination of biofuel and jet fuel, or maybe it could be 100% jet fuel. Just really depends on the airport you're taking off from. What is jet fuel anyway? Jet fuel is a mixture of a variety of hydrocarbons. Because the exact composition of jet fuel varies widely based on the petroleum source, it is impossible to define jet fuel as a ratio of specific hydrocarbons. Jet fuel is therefore defined as a performance specification rather than a chemical compound. Surprised? I was. I always thought fuel of all kinds was a hydrocarbon compound. Furthermore, the range of the molecular mass between the hydrocarbon is defined by the requirements for the products, such as the freezing point or the smoke point. These requirements are why we have several different grades of jet fuel. Kerosene type jet fuel, including Jet A and Jet A-1, which, by the way, is what they're putting in the wings of that plane. I happened to notice the Jet A-1 placard on the tanker as it pulled up. Also, JP5 and JP8 has a carbon number distribution between about 8 and 16 carbon atoms per molecule, while naphtha type jet fuel, including Jet B and JP4, between about 5 and 15 carbon atoms per molecule. Whew, that's a little too technical even for me. But I mention this because you should know that there are more than one type of jet fuel. Basically, jet fuel is diesel. Unlike gasoline for your car or piston-driven aircraft, which requires a spark plug to ignite the fuel, jet fuel tends to auto-ignite in aviation turbine engines easily with heat and compression, just like diesel fuel does. That makes it the fuel of choice for a jet engine, which doesn't have any spark plugs. Fuel for a piston-powered aircraft, usually a high-octane gasoline known as avgas, has a high volatility to improve its carburation characteristics and a high auto-ignition temperature to prevent pre-ignition in high-compression aircraft engines. Turbine engines, like diesel piston-driven engines, can operate on a wide range of fuels because the fuel is injected into a hot combustion chamber which ignites the fuel. Jet fuel is the lifeblood of most commercial and military aviation. But that's enough about talking about jet fuel and engines. Let's go on and talk about the Phillips 66 tanker truck here that carries aviation fuel. And here we go, guys. This is Iconic Replicas 1959 International DCOF-405 cab-over engine tractor with vintage tanker trailer for Phillips 66 aviation fuel, hauling Jet A-1. It's in their American Historical Truck series, and it comes in this nice packaging with a window box, and it's in a two-piece blister. And let's go on and get it out. It's a really nice packaging that he has come up with. And you can see it has this nice two-piece blister. The back piece is black plastic, solid black, and the front is clear, and it just has these little button tabs all around to hold it in place. Really well. It does a good job of holding it in place. Just pop those little buttons up, and off it comes. And then the truck's just sitting in there, nothing hard to do with it. Now, let's go on and set the tractor back so I can start off with the trailer. This is a very, very nice vintage trailer. It's all plastic. There's no metal on it. The wheels are soft rubber though, but the rest is all just hard ABS plastic. But in 43rd scale, most all of your trailers are ABS plastic. So that's alright. It fits with the scale. It is a very nice vintage trailer. It fits very well with that 59 tractor based on its age. It's got the fenders, tandem axles with dual tires on each one. The wheels are painted silver with black center caps. They could have done a better job on the wheels, but they're good enough for this size. The graphics though are outstanding. The Phillips wings logo, most trusted wings in aviation. Philjet A, negative 56 MB, and Jet A-1. Of course, you got that flammable and no smoking, and then the correct hazmat placard for jet fuel. Really, they did a good job on the graphics. Up top, you can see it has 5 hatches for 5 compartments. Very common on tankers was 5 compartments on these fuel tankers. They're painted silver, but they don't open. That's kind of a bummer, but that's alright. The catwalks are diamond plate molded in, and then they're just painted silver. There's no photo etch part added to it to make it look like it's got stainless walk plates. Again, that's okay. Paint is just fine. Underneath the trailer, you can see the black frame. It's got the wheel style, the old steel wheel style on the landing gear for the feet. And the landing gear is fixed in that position. It doesn't go down. It doesn't also go up any. You can also see a spare tire with spare wheel on it. Really nice. Round to the back. Philjet A, negative 56 MB. Flammable, no smoking, do not push or pull. And it's got a Texas license plate there. Really cool. And that Phillips 66 wings logo is awesome. Also, you can see the hazmat placard there for jet fuel. Kind of hard to see, but they're there. The brake lights, they are individual jewel style pieces of red plastic. Well, it's kind of clear red plastic so that it looks clear. Really nice. Now these doors, they did a real nice detail with them. You got the hinges there, but it's all just molded in. They don't open. They're just for show. But they did tampo the door handles, so that's pretty cool. Round to the passenger side. And it's pretty much the same as the driver's side, except for on this side you have all your hose hookups. And there's 5 of them because it's a 5-compartment tank. But you can see, again, great job on the graphics on this trailer. Whoever did the graphics did an outstanding job painting them on. Round to the front, hookup lines for your airlines, electric lines, and then there's the ladders so you can climb up to the tank to go on and fill it up. They put those on the front. So, I don't know. I guess that's the way they used to do it. Climb up on the tractor and climb up on the trailer. Kind of makes sense. Now a little note. Let's see if I can hold it this way. See the tab on the kingpin? That is because these trailers will really only hitch up to the IXO tractors, which they were made to go with. You might be able to hitch them up to other 43rd scale trucks, but I'm not really sure. However, with that style, the trailers don't actually come unhitched very easily. Now let's set this to the back and pick up the tractor. And here we go. This is the tractor that comes with that trailer. Isn't that sharp? It's just gorgeous. Look at those 5-spoke wheels, and they're hollow front and rear. Those Daytons are really nice. They got black spokes and silver rims. They did an awesome job there. It's got a white mud flap behind the front wheel. No mud flaps behind the rear wheels. It has black quarter fenders on both sides, and it's got silver fuel tanks on both sides. But they went on and tampoed the fuel filler doors, the fuel filler caps, black. Up here, beside the cab, there's actually a black little piece where you walk. These cabs were narrow enough that there was actually a place where you could walk beside the cab. Probably made getting in and out of these cabs a little easier than most COEs. There's a ladder back here so you climb up, and then you can see it's got the door handle, it's got your grab bar, and it's got a chrome mirror on this side. The little sleeper vent is there, and it is well defined, but it doesn't open. And then on the door it has Pope Aviation Service, and then it's got Jet A-1 back on the sleeper. Round to the front here, we've got a chrome bumper, a chrome grille with a black paint in it. Then we got a nice silver around it and a silver IH logo on the grille. The two little grab bars so you can pull yourself up and wash the windows are tampoed in silver. The headlights are two chrome pieces with 4 little individual jewel headlights put in each one. Really, really nice. Then you can see it's got a Texas plate on the front, and it's a different number than what was on the trailer because they were really nice. Trucks didn't have the same plates, and they did a good job there. The turn signals are 2 little plastic pieces that are painted metallic orange to look like they have amber lenses. Now, up under the visor, it's really hard to see, but up under the visor, there's 2 photo-etched windshield wipers, and they fold down. They'll probably not be very easy to flick off because of where they're at, but you could do it pretty. So be careful with those. Inside the cab, you've got 2 seats, steering wheel, dashboard, and it looks like there's a gear shift in there. Oh, also the dashboard is silver on this guy. Pretty nice. They did a good job. Round to the passenger side. Look at that. Ladder to climb up, another mud flap, wheels, and the fancy graphics. Also on this side, which was classic of the era, single stack and a single air intake. And they're right here, and those are chrome pieces. Along with the mirrors and the air horns and the grille and bumper. That's all the chrome that's on this truck, those few pieces. But back then, chrome wasn't as common as it is today, so it makes sense. Again, there's that little rubber place or black place on the step that you would walk to get into the cab. Round to the back, and I'll turn them up just a little bit. You can see real nice back of the cab detail, the 5th wheel pivots, the brake lights, individual little jewels put in. Real cool that they went to that extra detail there. No rear plate, but most trucks didn't have plates back even today, so that's not a problem. Now, the air intake, they painted white while the exhaust stack is chrome. See that nice white? Really nice. I'm betting it was chrome plated in like the stack as one piece and then painted. But maybe not. It might be the stack attached to it later. Up top, you can see the 2 chrome air horns and then the roof clearance lights. and the roof clearance lights are little tampo of silver, and then they tampoed a metallic orange on top to simulate the amber lenses. Really cool. And then because this is running around on an airport, they put the roof beacon light on it, which would have been very common back in the day on airports. Actually, very common today that fuel trucks on airports would have a flashing light. Probably more than just one. Going underneath, front spring suspension. It's got a nice tie rod. A good tread on pattern on these tires. It says IXO models underneath because the cab is an IXO tooling. The trailer, I'm not sure where it came from, but he contracted IXO to make the cabs. There's a bit of the under the engine detail. You can see over here, there's the air cleaner, fuel tanks, and it says International DCOF-143 scale. There's an air tank, back of transmission detail, drive shaft, and 2 rear differentials with drive shaft, and a nice representation of the suspension from back in the day. Pretty nice job that IXO did on this, and a very nice job that Iconic Replicas did when they had them make it as the Phillips tanker truck. Now let's go on and hook this guy up. And to do that, you have to take and turn the trailer 90 degrees to the cab, or the cab 90 degrees to the trailer. And then, there it is. Isn't that sweet? The 1959 International DCOF-405 cab-over truck, also nicknamed the Emeryville, with a vintage tanker trailer for Phillips 66 jet fuel, the most trusted wings in aviation, hauled by Pope Aviation Service. That's what the cab has, and the truck was released by Iconic Replicas. Trucks play an integral part in the delivery of jet fuel and avgas to our planes. Without trucks to fuel our planes, we'd all be stuck on the ground. Gasoline and diesel for cars and trucks. Avgas for piston-driven airplanes. Jet fuel for gas turbine-powered aviation. And lubricants of all kinds are required to keep the wheels moving. Trucks carry all of these products and many, many more. Guys, I just heard the announcement that my flight is leaving on time, so I expect many of the passengers are going to start showing up soon. So I better wrap this video up. But first, go on and tap that like button to let YouTube know to send this video out to other great diecast collectors just like you. It's based on the algorithm, and it really helps get the video distributed. Oh, and go on and grab a copy of my model scales. It tells you what models are made in which different scales, and there's a link to it down in the description below. And finally, please tap the subscribe button if you haven't already, and join my YouTube family. I really appreciate each and every member way more than I can express. You guys are the reason this channel is what it is. I'm Logan, the 64th Gear Jammer Skeele, and I hear some other passengers just coming into the TWA's first class lounge, so I gotta go now. But I'll be back in Advantage Diecast's Southside warehouse for another episode of Toy Talk soon.